Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful autogele. If you are interested in learning how to make it, then keep on watching and let's get started. I'll be needing my base. Okay, next I'll be cutting out two 40 inches. You can see I have two 40 inches. Okay, I'll overlap it by 1/4 of an inch. Okay, then I'll take to my sewing machine and I'll sew. For the other part, I have two 25 inches. Okay, I'll be joining them together by overlapping by 1/4 of an inch, just like I did with the 40 inches. Okay, then I'll take to my sewing machine and I'll sew. Okay, I always cut the edge of my ashoke with soldering iron anytime that I'm not folding it, so that it doesn't fray while working with it. So I'll just use my soldering iron and I'll be removing the just a little bit from the edge. You can see just a little. Don't pull, remember not to pull, just here. You can see. So I'll repeat the same thing for this side and the other one. Okay, next I'll double thread my needle, knot it and set aside. Okay, so the longer part will be on my right, so it depends on where you want yours to be. I want mine on the right, so this is the longer part, that is the 40 inches. Okay, it will be on my right, so I'll be plaiting this side. Okay, so I'll fold in, I'll come to the top, this will be the top of it. I'll fold in 1 inch, I'll just turn it over, fold in 1 inch. Then I'll form my pleats. It will be 3 per each strip. Okay, this is it. Okay, so next I'll sew them together with my needle and thread. Okay, after sewing I will knot it under here. Then I'll set aside. Then next I'll extend my plait a little bit. Okay, then next I'll set aside. I'll get the other part, which is the 25 inches. Okay, this is the front, is facing me, so I'll be plaiting this side. Okay, because I want it to be on my left. I'll just repeat the same thing that I did with the 40 inches one. Okay, I'll fold in 1 inch at the top. Then I'll sew them together with my needle and thread. Okay, then I'll extend my plait a little, just like I did with the other one. Okay, then next I'll come from the edge here. I'll come in by 3.5 inches and I'll mark it. I'll repeat the same thing on this one. Okay, then next I will be sewing the first plait to my base. Okay, this is my base. I'll fold in half, you can see. to mark the middle. I have inserted pin at the middle. You can see from the middle I'll go out towards my right by 1 inch and I'll mark there. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So this is the middle. I'll go towards the right, I'll go towards my right and I'll mark 1 inch, and I'll go towards my left and I'll mark 1 inch. You can see. Okay, so next I'll take this, that's the longer part, which is 40 inches. I'll attach to my base. I'll be starting from the 3.5 inches mark. Okay, then I'll sew it and I'll stop at the 1 inch mark. You can see I'll sew and stop at the 1 inch mark. Then for the other side I'll repeat the same thing. From the 3.5 inches mark I'll sew just the first line. You can see just the first plate. I'll be sewing the first plate and I'll stop at the 1 inch mark. Okay, this is it. After sewing the first plate to my base, you can see I stopped at 1 inch mark before the middle. The same thing on my left. Okay, so I'll be placing it on my mannequin head. Okay, next I'll extend the plates. I'll start from the part on my right. I'll just follow the mark. I'll pull it so that it will be flat. You can see. Okay. When I get to the middle, I will take it back a little bit. You can see. I will take it back, then I will tack it down there. Arrange the plates well. Place them on top of each other well, then tack. Okay, I'll pull it out, then I'll tack it to my base at that middle. Remember, I slanted it a little bit towards the back. When I pass it through my base, I will make sure to go up the same point my needle and thread passed from. Okay. Okay. Then next, I will knot it at the top here. Next, I will place the part on my left facing me, just like I did with the part on my right. Okay, I'll be bringing it on top of the part on my right facing me. Okay, next I will stitch them together at the middle. When I'm done stitching them, I'll knot my thread at the top. Just bring over the long part. You can see the way I crossed it. It's already slanted towards the back, so I just bring it so that it will be on top of the part on my left. Okay, the short part. You can see. So next, I'll come to this edge. I'll just make something that looks like, I'll just slant it. Just watch what I'm doing. I slanted it just like fan. This is like 2 inches. Okay, from here I folded it at 2 inches. Okay, so I'll just follow that pleat. You know, I'll just follow that pleat. Just push with your fingers till I get to the down part. Okay, okay, so this is it. So I'll be placing it, I'll just place it here and I'll tag them together, making sure that this top part is on the same line with this. I will stitch them together. Okay. After stitching them, I will knot my thread, then I will trim it and attach my handles for tying. Okay, next I'll be trimming out this excess part. You can see this part on my right. Okay, next I'll cut out the tying part. Okay, I have 2 16 inches. Okay, next I'll be folding in just one part of the tying part. I'll fold in twice, one, then take to my sewing machine. I'll sew. I'll repeat the same thing for this one. Okay, after folding one side of it, I'll be placing it like this. I'll use it to wrap this part. And see, you can see this is the wrong side facing me. I'll just place it and wrap it round. I'll be stitching it at 1 inch. You can see 1 inch. I'll stitch it there. Remember to use a soldering iron to cut your ashoke. To avoid this, you can see. Okay, when I'm done, I'll knot my thread. Then I'll pull it out. Okay, this is it. Okay, I'll repeat the same thing for this side. Okay, next I will turn to the back and I'll tie them together. Okay, next I'll tack my pleats together. Make sure the pleats are on the same line. You can see the last pleat. I will just open the back and pass my needle. Okay, don't pull it tightly. As you tack, you arrange. Then I'll move to 1 inch from where I made my first stitch. You can see. Then I'll repeat the same thing. I'll continue to like get here, then I'll come here and repeat the same thing. After tacking the plates, you see here, I'll be tacking it here on top of this plate. Okay, so I will just first, you can see I folded in the first plate, you can see it's folded in. I'll take it and I'll tack, you can see I'll bring it down and I'll tack. I'll be tacking behind here, you can see. See, I'll pass back my needle. Okay, I'll continue tacking. I'll be plating as I tack. I'll be plating it a little, just be gauging it with your eyes. Okay, continue till I get to the end. I'll just plate the remaining part and I'll tack. I'll just tack it. I'll just tack them. Okay, you can see the remaining parts. I'll just fold it in and then tack them. Okay, next I'll come here. Okay, this part you can see I'll be folding it in. I'll be folding it twice. I'll take to my sewing machine and I'll sew it. Okay, next I'll put it back on my mannequin head. Okay, this is it. Then I'll pull up, you see this plate that I plaited like fan here. I'll start arranging them. I'll fold the first plate, I'll fold it. You can see how I folded it like this. Then this other plate, I'll just extend, I'll just drag them up like this. Just arrange it the way you want it to look. Okay, I'll be tacking the top plate. Okay, so I'll turn to the back so that you can see what I want to do. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. I'll first, you can see, I'll open it up, the folded part. Remember, I folded it in about 1 inch, the top plate. Okay, so I'll first pass my, you can see, I'll open up my plate like this. I'll pass my needle and thread. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, 1 inch, I'll just pass it, or you can just pass through. If you are working with a plain material that is not ashoke, just pass your needle and thread the same point you passed it through. If you are using a plain material, like if you are using another material, that is not an ashoke, just pass it through the point where you if you are using another material that is not ashoke, just pass your needle back from where it's coming out from. Okay, but this is ashoke, so I will just come down a little bit, because if I pass it through where it's coming out from, it might pull out. So I have to come down in a straight line from where it's coming out from. That's where I will just pass it, not up to 1/4 inch. Okay, I will pass it back. You can see I brought it out from the top. Okay, you can see it won't be visible because it's in a straight line. So next, I'll pass back my thread. I will repeat the same thing in a straight line. I will just come down a little and pass it back. I'll just pass it back. Then I'll shift my hand 1 inch to 2 inches depending on what you want. You can see I just gave space, and I'll bring it out again. Don't drag it too much. Then I'll come down and repeat the same thing that I did before. Okay, and bring out my needle and thread. Then I'll pass it back to the back. You can see it's not coming out, it's coming out from the wrong side. Then I'll shift my hand about 2 inches again, or 1 inch, and bring out my thread again. Okay, I'll pull. You can see it's already holding them together. So I'll shift my hand 2 inches again, about 2 inches again, or 1 inch. I'll insert my needle and thread again. You can see. I'll pull, but not too tight. As you pull, you straighten it. Okay, so I'll continue like that till I get down here. Okay, when I get down here, okay, this is the last. I'll repeat the same thing. Okay, then I'll be knotting it on the next plate at the back. Here you can see it. Okay, this is it. Arrange them the way I want it to look. Okay, as you are arranging your plate, ensure that it maintains the curvy look. It should be like a C or a half circle. If you want it smaller, just do it. You can see, just give it any shape you want. Okay, this is what I want you to. So next I'll be tacking each of them. Okay, you can see all these plates. I'll just tack from behind. So I'll start with this first one. I'll just place it and I'll tack. I'll pass it back behind. You can see, just follow the lines on the ashoke. I'll just go straight, follow the lines on the ashoke, so that my thread will not be visible. Okay, I have tacked the first one. You can see. Okay, the other plate will be covering it, so you don't need to focus on here. You should be focused on this part, because the remaining part will be covering here. As you tack, be sure to arrange your plates. When I'm done on this side, okay, I'll be knotting it behind. Then I'll come here. You can see here is still loose, okay, so I'll be tacking it. So I'll shift my hand and see about 2 inches. Okay, I'll continue to get to where I want to stop tacking them. You can see here I'll be stopping around here, so I'll continue to get there. See, so this is the last one. This is it. Okay, so I'll be bringing out, you can see this smaller part. See what I'm doing. This is the first plate. This is the first plate, not the top plate. I'll just bring it. You can see. So I'll first tack it down here. So I will tack it. I will tack it to the top plate of this. You can see I will tack it here. After I will knot it. Okay, after sewing, next I will be measuring from here, from where I sewed it. I'll be measuring 3.5 inches. Okay, I'll take note of that place. Okay, this is my 3.5 inches. So next I will bring in this, I will tack it here to the 3.5 inches. That's where I want it to stop. Okay, so I will tack it. After I will knot behind. Okay, so next, after tacking here, next this you can see this place has some excess part, so I'll be folding the excess part in. You can see what I'm doing. So I will just fold it in and I'll be tacking it here. Okay, okay, this folding I will just extend it. You can see it. Then next I will come here, I will tack it to this. Okay, this excess I will be rolling it. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, you can see it. Then I will tag them down. Okay, I will just tag them together. Any other place that needs tacking, I will just tack it, and that will be all. You can see.